everybody, this is Jonathan, and today I'll be having a look at ToaruOS, which is basically an operating system that was created by one person, or at least he worked on it the most. But yeah, I'm going to have a look at it and see how great the operating system is, and to be able to tell if you could use it for everyday use. It is not Linux based. I think it's completely made from scratch. So that means it will not have anything related to Linux. So it's not a Linux distribution, it's created from scratch. It is a free software and is open source, so you can view the code on GitHub from this link, and there should be a GitHub page to it. So I can read a bit about the description about what this operating system is. ToaruOS is a complete operating system for x86 to 64 PCs and experimental support for ARM. So yes, you can install this on a Raspberry Pi, I do believe. While many independent hobby and research OSs aim to experiment in new designs, ToaruOS is intended as an educational resource, providing a representative Moku scheme of functionality found in major desktop operating systems. This OS includes a kernel, like any other operating system, bootloader, just like any other operating system, Dematic shared object linker, C standard library, and its own compressed windowing system, a Dematic bytecode compiled programming language, advanced code editor, and dozens of other utilities and example applications. There are two external runtime dependencies and all required source code, totaling roughly 100k lines of primary C. Is included in this repository, save for Kurko, which lives separately. Okay, cool. And there's a bit of history for guys who want to read for history, and it comes with some features, current goals, what they are currently working on, building and installation. This is how I'll be able to install it and running it inside a virtual machine. I already have it installed in a virtual machine, so I just need to go to my VM and I can just click on the start button and I can have a look at this operating system. So I need to press on the enter key, which should now start booting me up. Okay, so you should see a desktop like this. Welcome to ToaruOS. This tutorial will guide you through the features of operating system as well as give you a feel for the UI design principles. When you're ready to continue, press next. And this is the GitHub page. ToaruOS is free software released under the terms of NCSA University of Illinois license. I think this is in America. You can sponsor ToaruOS development on GitHub. Next, talks about how it's in a hobby operating system, and it's running on the live CD. Yeah, that's fine. This is the live CD. We can make changes to the file system, including install applications, but those changes do not persist between your boots. If you need to enter a password, such as for sudo or when using a package manager, the default user account is local with the password local. This is also a guest account available with limited privileges, password guest, and root account password tool. Okay, so the password is local. That's fine, and the username is local. You can explore a file system using the file browser. Okay. It has a terminal as well. Has some packages where you'll be able to install software. It has a README file. We can drag windows. That's it. The tutorial is over. Press exit to close the window and start exploring ToaruOS. So it's currently still in development, but if I open up the terminal, there should be a way to actually use NeoFetch, but I don't think NeoFetch is available. I have to use something like sysinfo to be able to show up that sort of style of showing for you what system this is and all the specs for the system. So if I just run it, this may take a while. Okay, I've got it open now. I've got two of them opened. Okay, so now if I write down sysinfo, then it should show up like a NeoFetch sort of style, and it should run that program. So the operating system is ToaruOS 2.0. The kernel is that. This is the kernel. This should be up to date. Uptime, we have been using this for 2 minutes and 10 seconds. We have no packages installed. We got for shell, which is using the ESH shell, and this is our resolution. This is our window manager.theme. We also got for font, and we got for CPU, and we got for RAM. So that's very useful. And I would expect I would be able to get to different directories the same way we do on Linux. So we can go to desktops. I don't think it does support caps. At least I'm trying to do it, but it's not working. Yeah. Maybe if I just try to copy that one instead. I'll copy, now if I do CD, then hopefully it will work. Yes, now I've pressed the enter key, now I'm in that directory. Now I can do ls, and now I can see everything within it. So I'm just going to close out the terminal, because I want to do things with a graphical way. So I'm going to close out of this, and now I'm going to go and click onto the file browser to see how I'll be able to interact with the file browser, which allows me to select which file I want to open and all that, or to edit files and stuff. Okay, it doesn't seem that complicated. We're going to help to get some help in how to use it and stuff. Contents, about file browser, and it just tells over here. Then we close out of that bad boy, and now I can click over there to go up and up again, and from here we'll be able to go to the very first directory. I'm going to click onto the user, so that should take me to the user directory, I do believe. Okay, home local. This is my account. This is the because I'm using for local account. Now I can go into desktop, and there's everything that's within the desktop area. I can click onto readme.md, and this should open up like a text editor, which is called BIM. I never used it before, so I can close out of that. Desktop should open up some files and some programs that is on the desktop, as you guys can see. So that should be for file browser, that should be for terminal, package, a launcher, the CD-ROM launcher, readme launcher, and so on. So you guys can click onto view, and I think that allows you to change a view. So you can change it to being a list, you can change it to show icons, and you can also click on to show hidden files as well, if there's any files that's hidden. So let me click onto that. Edit will allow you to copy and paste and select all. A file that exit will just allow it to exit from the file browser. So let me click onto that, because that's basically it really with the file browser. It's very simple, and it's very straightforward to use. So well done for that little browser. I can go onto packages, because I want to be able to install some packages to see how that would work. If I enter my local password of authenticate, it's not showing anything. Refresh. Still nothing. Refresh. Let me click onto help, about package manager. So well, I would assume that we just need to click onto something, like I have to click onto an install button, and it just allows us to install it, as well as giving it a short description about it. But it doesn't seem to be working at the moment. So I don't know what's happening here. Maybe it's because of where I set up my VM. But I will add in a screenshot of how it's supposed to be like. But I'm going to click onto file, then I'm going to click onto exit, because the package just doesn't seem to be working. In fact, I'm going to test out the internet. So I'm going to do ping www.google.com, and that should ping or something. Okay, so I was not able to be found, so I guess I'm not connected to the internet, or maybe there's something wrong with my Wi-Fi driver within this operating system, which is fine, because this is for experimental use. But if I click onto applications, I would guess it's like for taskbar, and we can click onto accessories, you can go to demos, we can go to settings. I want to change the settings. I'm going to go to accessories, I'm going to click onto the calculator, and this seems like a very simple calculator. We won't be able to do much if you are involved a lot in mathematics. But if I click onto contents, I guess it shows up how I'll be able to use it and stuff. So if I click onto topics, yeah, there's not really much to it. I'm just going to click out of it. So from here we'll be able to do like 8 times by 8, and we can do is equal, what is that equal to? 64. And how do I clear it? Best wanted to see. And now we should be able to do like something like 6 divided by 6 times by 6, and that should be able to calculate it. If I clear for screen, I can now do 7 plus 7, that should be equal to 14, yep, and I can do all these stuff. If I do 6 plus 6, if I now do this bracket, if I now do 5 times by 5, I didn't do maths in such a long time, to be honest, so I don't know if that would give me an error or not, which it has done. So if I now do 4 times by 4, if I do times by with that bracket, if I do 5 times by 5, then maybe that will work. Yes, it does work. So that gives us 400. So we'll be able to do all this mathematics as well. So let me clear it, and we can do decimal points as well. I don't know what mod does, but this seems like a great feature to use, I guess. I guess it just shows up a percentage, really. So if I do 5 equals to error, if I just clear the entire screen, if I do 3 times by 3, if I do mod, okay, it just adds percentage to it, I guess. I don't see a point of mod, but I'm not really a maths genius. If you guys know more about this, then say so down in the description. But yeah, I'm just going to close out of the calculator software. Go back to applications, back to this amazing taskbar. We already did file browser, we did the terminal. Now let's look at the demos. So these are some demos for you guys to be able to look at. We've got decorated and undecorated. So let me look at the Julia Fractals. What is this? I don't know what this is. It looks something weird. It's like a science thing, you know, like some cells or checking for some bacteria. I don't know what this is. I'm just going to close out that. If I go back to demos, if I click onto plasma, what does that show? Okay, that's a nice, very nice effect. I like it so much. This could be used as a screensaver, my honest opinion. If I go back to applications, if I go back to demos, I can click onto undecorated, draw lines, and I guess it just draws like random lines. So yeah, that's amazing, and I don't know how to exit from it now. Yeah, that's great. Cool. I'm just going to leave it right over there. Okay, so now let me go back to applications, and now I can go to settings, and from here I'll be able to select package manager. For me it doesn't work because I don't think my Wi-Fi driver is working correctly. But you guys can click onto select wallpaper, and you'll be able to select what wallpaper I want, which I can't really, oh wait, I can, I just need to press one of these buttons. Okay, that's pretty nice. So I have a few selection. This is a Japanese operating system, so they have this building, which is Japanese, I do believe. I don't know. It's actually a very nice building. If I set this one up, then it should just be set up, and I can click onto the close button. But there's no way of actually being able to open up to the file browser and able to set up a picture or wallpaper that way, really. But that's very nice. Let me close out of that. Let me go back to applications. If I go back to settings, I can go to system monitor, and it should tell me how much of the CPU is being used up, as well as the memory and network. So network I would understand is not working, but I don't know why the memory is not working either. But the CPU is working fine. So yeah, this is how much on my CPU cores I have. It seems to be working fine, but I don't know what's wrong with the memory and with the network. I think this is still a work in progress. But I'm going to close out of that. And you guys can also go back to applications. You guys can go to help browser, which I think will just give you it is incomplete to view the document for an application. Select the contents, enter it for the help menu. So if I click onto contents, helps browser, a more featureful HTML rendering engine will eventually replace it. Okay, that's nice. Can I click onto topics? I guess I can't. There's not really much to this part. It doesn't really tell you what, how to use each software and how to basically use them. I don't think that this is particularly useful, but it just says that it's still work in progress, so hopefully it does get better over time. But let me click back onto applications, and let me click onto about ToaruOS, and it tells you more about it, which is a pretty nice operating system in my honest opinion. Okay, so what I want to do now is to be able to test out how great BIM is, which is the text editor I had previously opened. So if I go back to file browser, if I click onto the readme.md, so as you guys can see, this is BIM. It looks like it's mostly used for programming because you can see all the numbers there. But it says here, welcome to ToaruOS, and it just provides you some description about it. But I want to go to File, which allows you to exit, edit. We can copy and paste some of the text. You guys can go to View, you guys can show borders, set zoom, bitmap fonts, snap to cell, redraw, and we can click on to help. So edit, copy and paste, view, set zone, bitmap font, snap to cell size. If I click onto file, it just shows up to exit. So is there any way for me to be able to make myself a new file or something? I know this is still in development, but all we can really do is just view the readme.md. There doesn't seem to be any way for me to be able to make a new document, or to be able to save it elsewhere, you know. But if I set zoom, if I can set to 200, oh my gosh, the font is so much bigger. Okay, cool. So that's very nice. Let me go back to applications. If I click on to log out, then I should be able to log out of a system. And over there is where I'll be able to change your volume. You can change it down, you can change it up again, which is very nice. Over there it tells you the date, and it's a very simple calendar for this month. But you can't change a month, which is quite annoying. But yeah, it's very simple. You guys can click over there as well, which probably will allow you to connect to any network, but it doesn't seem to be working at the moment because it's not really showing up any networks, or won't connect to my virtual machine network. But as you guys can see, I guess we'll just have to click over there and it should show up like a list of networks, and we'll just select which one we want to connect to, and it allows you to connect to it. Over there shows up the time. I don't think we can interact with it. Oh wait, we can. And it shows up like a look, which is very nice. So I'll just click onto this button, and you guys can click on to log out. I will show on to log out, okay. So if I put down local, as the password, well, I wrote this wrong, I do believe. I mean not. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Can you shut down? Doesn't seem like it. I'm going to open up the terminal again, and I'm going to try to power off the system by doing power off. Shut down. Reboot. Does that one work at least? Okay, we have to add in sudo, so we can do a reboot, but I don't know how to shut down the system. So if I do sudo power off, would that work? I have to write down local as the password. Power off does not work, but we can do a reboot. You just have to add in sudo to it, and hopefully that does reboot the computer. But I don't know why they couldn't program it for it to shut down. So yeah, I'm back. Okay, so I'm going to power off it manually. So if I just click onto the X button over there, then that should allow me to exit power off the machine. So my review, my rating is that it's going to be a 5 out of 10. It's very good, it's very user friendly, but it is incomplete, and it does need some more improvement. I couldn't get my network to work within it, which is quite a problem, because I really wanted it to try out the package manager, but it's very simple to use, I would have to say, and it's very user friendly. But some of it is just incomplete, and I would have to say that it needs more work done towards it, but it's a great starting point, and it's very advanced in my honest opinion. But it was created by one person, I do believe, or mostly by one person, so seeing a system like this being created by one person is actually pretty impressive. But I love this operating system so much. It is very user friendly, it's not as bloated as Windows is, and it's very small in size to install. But it's still in development, so I would not recommend to run it as a daily build, but I would recommend you to go and try it out and give some feedback to developers, and that way they can improve on their work. I do believe this is like a hobby OS, so it's a hobby operating system, so he's doing it for fun, but you guys can still provide some feedback so he can improve and learn from it, you know, learn from his mistakes and learn to improve on his projects and add new features in. But this is a great operating system in my honest opinion. And it is going to be a 5 out of 10 for me. It's good, but needs some more improvement, and it has a couple of issues, but it's amazing in my honest opinion. I love the user interface. If you guys like this video, please put a like and please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.